Right then. I think the recording started, boys, so away we go.
Welcome to the No Ifs, Putts and Bogies podcast. We are a no-nonsense, straight-talking golf podcast discussing all the hot topics in the world of golf. This podcast is brought to you in association with Barreto Golf, a stylish, affordable golf clothing brand. Visit barretogolf.com for all the latest offers. That's BARRETO golf.com. This podcast is also brought to you on behalf of the Golfer Gang Network. So please go check out some of the other golfing podcasts. And without further ado, he is back with us today, Mr. Harry Clark.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back, Harry.
Right. I am back with a new throat. I'm good to go. I listened to the last podcast and thought I can't miss another one. There was far too much waffle. But we're back. And we're back with an absolute blast because we've got our very first guest on the podcast. So,
yes, boy.
JB, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, pal?
Thanks, Clarky. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Excited to be here. I know we have a ton of fans out there, and I guess we were just discussing it all over Europe. We got some in North America, so happy to be here. Excited to be the first guest on No Ifs, Putts, or Bogies. And excited to chat today, guys. It's been a while, and have some questions for you guys, and then excited to learn a little bit more about what you've got in store this year. So, also we got the Masters on, so lots to chat about today.
Yeah, there's a lot to go through. Do you want to just start by telling everyone who's listening how you know AB and DB?
Unfortunately, we are first cousins. So the B's, the DB, the AB, the JB, we're all Barretos. Our fathers are brothers. So by blood, we are best mates, I guess. Yeah, I guess AB and DB were both born in Canada. My family stayed here. They moved out to the UK. Keep in touch via WhatsApp. Try and do a couple trips every couple of years to each other's homes. But yeah, it's been a while actually since I've chatted with you guys. So excited to chat.
Well, JB, it might have been a little while because you've been a busy man over the last couple of weeks. So first of all, from the Barretos in the UK and to our listeners, he has just become a father for the first time. So congratulations, JB.
Congratulations, boy.
Thank you.
Your baby boy, Julian, carrying on the JB tradition.
Yes, sir. He is the future of the Barreto clan. So excited to have him. He's just over a month now, and it's been a month of sleepless nights, but it's great to have him. A lot of funny things, a lot of new developmental things, a lot of frustrating areas of the month, but it's nice to have him. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. A
lot of nappy changing for you, or diapers, as they would say, over in your neck of the woods.
I feel like nappy a little bit more though. Nappies. I'm up to here in nappies right now.
Yeah, man. Love it. Well, look, great to have you on. Now, one of the first things we want to talk about is, a little bit about how we got started, how you got started. So for those people who don't know or who listen to the podcast, might follow us on Instagram. We obviously own a clothing business as well, sponsors this podcast. JB also owns his own clothing business over out in North America, which is doing really well. As you can see, he is, well, for those of you watching on YouTube, sporting his hat and I think one of the shirts from the latest drop. So let's kick it off. What's been going on in the world of Shop Out of Bounds?
Yeah. So let's start with recent. So we just launched a new line April 1st. We are called, as DB said, Shop Out of Bounds. I am sporting, in the theme of the Masters weekend, our greenside polo. So you can check that out on our website. I'll plug us later on. But yeah, we started. It's funny because I don't think the three of us have ever actually discussed the origin stories of both companies, but it was around the same time, unbeknownst to both parties. So myself and my original business partner, Jordan, and we have a new one as well named Joe. We've kind of grown over the last 3 years. Some exciting stuff this year with men's polos that we started with, braided nylon belts. We've just launched a ladies line of polos as well. And similar to what I'm wearing right now, kind of similar to the new patterns that AB and DB are sporting. We take more of like a fun, loud, North American approach to golf as opposed to the traditional, more neutral colors that you might see. But yeah, excited to get into it. Happy to answer any questions, but really who it's for those who want to have fun on the golf course. I mean, my business partner, Jordan, he's awesome. Very smart, super, I guess, savvy business partner. He's kind of the brains behind the operation. I'm more of like a DB who's like just here for the ride. So if you want,
Jordan plays a lot as well, doesn't he? He does the like a local tour, doesn't he?
Yeah, so he does what we call. So we live in just outside Toronto. I'm just outside. He's in the city, Toronto, Canada. So he's playing in the GTAM tour, which is the Greater Toronto Area tour. So he plays in that every year. And what I was going to get to is I'm more of the type of player that likes to look good while I look for my ball because I'm usually out there trying to find it. And Jordan's more of, he's more of the guy that's driving for show and putting for dough. He's a wicked golfer. So it's for everybody that wants to get out there and have a good time. And I see a lot of people actually wearing it outside of the golf course as well. So we love to see it. And it's been fun. It's been a good ride so far. So hopefully it continues that way.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of golf companies that are popping up now. You see loads that are coming over Instagram, and a lot of them are doing it just for the sake of that they enjoy golf, and I think that's something they have interested in. But for yourself, why did you kind of get into golf clothing, and how did you get into it as well?
Yeah, good question, Clarky. I feel like it's probably pretty similar to the way that AB and DB started BG, but ultimately, there is a lot of different brands in North America, especially coming out of the US. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. They are like the biggest market this side of the pond, we'll call it. So we started, I guess the first question was why we started. Jordan was really the first, I guess, the instigator, we'll call him. He was buying polos from, we're not going to name those brands because we don't want to give them any airtime, but a few brands that you might have heard of that are similar in style to what we do. But he was ordering them from the States and bringing them over the border just for your own personal use. You pay customs, you pay US foreign exchange as well. So he's paying like $120 for a polo. And we saw a lot of people wearing these types of polos, especially post-COVID. Yeah, I think that's when golf really got its I won't call it second wind, but it's rejuvenation over here at least. And so yeah, it's probably similar over there. So what that kind of started snowballing into is, if these people are paying $120 and are loving these types of shirts in this style, like, why couldn't we do this? Why couldn't we bring over this type of style to the Canadian golf market? And as well, like, there are some others that do it in the Canadian market, but I mean, at the end of the day, we also didn't want to be paying $120 for those shirts ourselves. So if we can get shirts for ourselves, I think that's kind of how it started, and also start a business out of it, have fun golfing, and, gives me more of a reason to get out there and golf. Jordan can go out whenever he wants. Like, he golfs all the time. He probably played about 120 rounds last year, which I guess for our conditions here in Canada is overwhelmingly great. Like, you only have from April till the end of October, really, in season. Anything plus that is a bonus. So 120 rounds is really good. I think I played like 40 or 50 last year, but it's all in promotion. So we have to get out there. As I tell my wife, it's a no if and or but. So it's for the business, right? But how we got started was, again, probably very similar. Getting samples, trying to find a manufacturer, and that was all started during COVID, which was kind of a beast in itself. Trying to figure out quality, pricing, suppliers, approaching different suppliers, different materials. Like, there's a lot there that we could spend a lot of time talking about, as I'm sure AV and DB know from the land of manufacturing, that we love and hate at the same time, but they do us well. So I think that answers your question, Clarky, but let me know if you want any more detail on anything.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely think you've covered those nicely there. I think the next thing to touch on, without giving too much away, would be if someone was starting up a golf clothing company, what kind of advice would you give them for kicking things off?
Don't do it.
That's what I was gonna say. That's
Yeah, man. Don't do it.
just make bulk orders for yourself so you have a ton of inventory that you can recycle and rewear. No, I'm just kidding. I think what I would first say is if you're going to partner with somebody in business, make sure that you know each other really well. That's worked out very well for myself and Jordan, and I think that goes for any business, not necessarily just golf. If you are going to start a golf business specifically, maybe make sure that the season is longer than 6 months or 5 months. I can see it being a lot better when you can sell a shirt and somebody's interested in going to go wear it in January as opposed to waiting all the way from October to April. But no, I think really what it comes down to is like what people want is good quality, and making sure that you're, that kind of saying, measure twice, cut once. Make sure that your stuff is what people want and you're really happy with it, because I think some of the trials and tribulations we went through is sizing, quality from that, the discrepancy in quality from a sample to our actual bulk order. So if you can figure that out as a start, like your product's going to sell itself. People are happy with a good quality product. We don't charge like a ton of money for our shirts, but I mean, it's still people's hard-earned money. So we want to make sure we're delivering something that's good quality and that's going to last. And is also, of course, stylish and comfortable. But that would probably be my long-winded answer for you, Clarky, if you notice I'm pretty chatty.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then the final one for you is your best-selling piece that you've got, and also your favorite, if they differ.
Good question. So the one thing that we do is every year we launch a new set of patterns. So over the 3 years that we've been in business, every year has had different patterns. So I can talk about historical most or best-selling shirt. Actually, I can tell you right now, because there's only one pattern that we've brought back this year from last year, which was our best-selling shirt. And it's actually from our original order. And that is the Flamingo Friends shirt. It's bright. It's not super, well, I like loud, but it's not too loud. And I think a lot of golfers like to wear brighter colors as opposed to dark. Maybe I'm biased there, but we've kind of revamped it this year. We used to have basically the patterns going through the collars as well as the sleeves. This year, we've kind of taken a different approach, especially with that specific pattern, to make it a little bit different for this year. So that now has a solid blue collar as well as sleeves. We've also added a sleeve patch. Oh, I'm grabbing the wrong side, but that's by far one of our best sellers. And I'm kind of torn between what my favorite is right now. We've launched a ton of new patterns, which are really exciting. I think this one, surprisingly, wasn't the biggest fan of it before, but it's definitely growing on me with the leaves, and it's quite, it feels very, I guess, stylish off the course as well. Like I've worn it to a couple events and I've gotten a lot of compliments on it that are nothing to do with golf. So it's one of my favorites. I think our Chaos Polo is definitely a favorite of mine. And then as well as it's called Flower Power. It's got blue flowers all over it. So myself, I like to be loud, but we try to mix it up with some subtleties as well as some more loud patterns that we have.
Yeah, no, totally. Moving away from clothing slightly, Canadian golf. What's that like?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. I feel like from when I played with AB, I feel like it's a lot of different than British golf. Not numero uno with the carts. So watching AB drive a cart was probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like he forgot where the gas and the brake was, even though it's the exact same. Oh, I guess it's on the other side in your cart.
Yeah, with the carts, man, we don't. I never sit in one, so I have a trolley, and I'll just go out every Saturday with my trolley. And I would agree with you. I think that is it's a standard, isn't it, for you to just go to play golf and you get a cart out.
A buggy's a real luxury over here. I think, like, obviously England's like a real small country, but there's like 2,000 golf courses here, which I would imagine maybe more than in Canada. I don't know off the top of my head. But the thing is, with like Canada and America, they're like proper like country clubs. They're built to like cater. They've got proper cart paths. They've got proper ways around the golf course. Whereas like, obviously I play in London, so little bit of a tunnel vision view, but there's just not the space for it really. Like, you go from green to tee, whereas like out there, I don't know if we've spoken about this in the podcast, but I recently played golf in Las Vegas, and it was just a different kettle of fish. Like, there are proper cart paths everywhere, and you could just like, you don't hack up the course really whilst you're doing it. Also because they generally have much better weather in their seasons. You just drive along the edge of the fairway type thing.
That's an interesting point, because I guess I never really thought about it being conducive to the space, but cart paths are definitely on just about every golf course, especially if it's like an established golf course. I think there are some like smaller kind of, par 3 courses that don't necessarily have like a nice cart path, but they'll definitely have carts. I think in North America, we're driving no matter what. There are definitely people that prefer to walk, maybe more traditionalists that, like you guys, will have their walking carts, or just like get the walking cart or the pole cart, I should say, from the pro shop or the clubhouse.
That's a trolley for the English people, is what he's trying to describe.
Yeah, pole cart, we call it over here. So we got the power carts, we got the pole carts. So, but in Canada, I feel like, so I looked it up, DB, we have 2,400 golf courses in Canada.
Okay, it's quite a lot. In the UK, that's similar to the UK. So England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland have a similar amount.
Yeah.
Combined.
So that's actually pretty impressive considering how much bigger Canada is than all the UK.
That's the thing,
Yeah.
So, but like I was saying, Clarky, in Canada, I mean, we're kind of handcuffed by the seasons. Our winter is brutal. There's no way you're playing golf outside in the winter. Typically, I think like some golf courses aren't even open right now. It's April 12th. They're opening in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think last time I came to visit was 2022, and you and I played in May 2022, and it was like the opening weekend, and it was May, and it was freezing, and it rained.
Yeah.
So I was like, I know the weather in the UK has been shit this year, but generally you would hope by May it's quite nice now. So I'm hoping tomorrow is going to be a nice round. But when we played it back in May, back then it was like, it was freezing and it was raining, and they're definitely restricted over there in terms of the seasons.
And then it pretty much wraps up. Oh, go ahead, DB.
I noticed how JB immediately brought up the time he played with AB, but he didn't bring up the time that he played with me. I think you'll learn in true DB fashion, I sank a putt on the 18th to beat him. And I actually played the whole round with my uncle, his dad's golf clubs. We were sharing golf clubs. So it was like on occasion where we would split the fairways. I didn't even know the yardage. I would take a club out and he would drive, because being true amateur golfers, the balls wouldn't often land in the same or similar spots. So Jose was going one way, I was going the other, and I literally just had to take a club out and hope that it was the right yardage. And still managed to pick up the dub. But I thought you kept a bit quiet about that one, Justin. So I thought I would just let everyone know.
Well, I knew that you of all people would definitely be one to bring it up. So I wanted to give you that spotlight because I know you love it that much. But we actually played at the same course, that just different times, right?
Yeah. In October we did of the same year, I think 2022, when you got married, wasn't it?
Must have been, yeah. So you actually played at the end of the season. AB played at the start of the season, which is funny. Neither of you got our kind of mid-season form for a golf course.
Yeah. What I would say is what I noticed, which in some ways was actually like quite nice, was it was obviously it was like autumn season, but it was starting to get a bit of chill in the air, which meant the ground was like hard, but like not like in a bad way. Like you would actually still get in like roll and bounce, and like you could really like hit quite a good distance, and it would kick on a little bit. Whereas in October over here, on occasions, maybe more November, December, but well, actually, last week when I played, losing balls on the fairway, they're just sinking. They're just plugged.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to see JB when the next time he's over here, if he makes it in the winter, I'd like to see him play on a wet golf course because it's probably something that you guys don't really experience.
So on the contrary, DB, that's kind of what April and May are like. Like right now is like, so we kind of go through these periods or phases, and April to May is like wet. It's muddy. It's soft ground, which sounds like it's probably pretty similar to your winter.
Yeah.
And then from like end of May to like July is prime because it's funny. All the grass is grown. It's grown in. It's nice. It's not patchy. You're still got the moisture from the previous months, but as soon as August hits, that's when everything's burned to shit. So that's when things are super hard. Your ball's taking crazy bounces. And like you could basically kind of, at least for me, I need to club down a little bit just to like keep my distances consistent. Otherwise, like your rolls, your bounces, it's like sometimes playing on concrete, like they're going far, which is probably something that DB would tout as him just being the best golfer ever. But
it's funny. I won't give too much away, but I've got a few stories lined up for our next podcast.
Yeah.
I will leave it up to your imagination.
Justin, in terms of the golfer that you are, give us a bit of a rundown. You know, handicap, what kind of shots you like, what you don't like, and then finally to finish off, who you think you're more like out of AB and DB on the course.
Well, start off with what you and AB have in common with regards to your golf. Don't look at me blankly, mate. You're both left-handed, which is unusual on this neck of the woods.
I thought you were going to talk about our frustrations, but yeah, we are lefties. We are lefties, that's for sure.
So when I played, we used your set, didn't we? I
Yeah.
shared. DB mentioned about him sharing clubs, but it was the same for me. So we shared your set, didn't we? And you've actually you had a bloody nice set. I was fucking smoking it with your.
What you got?
It made me wish. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to upgrade mine. But yeah.
Yeah, we get a lot of we get a lot of set sales from previous years. So I think those were like a few years older, but I got a good deal on them. I have Cobra irons. I have a M6 driver. The Cobra irons came with 2 hybrids as well. And then my putter is a Cleveland just blade putter. I used to have a mallet putter, but I absolutely hated it. That was like an Odyssey. So now I have a Cobra blade putter, which I actually really like. And then wedges. I won a Vokey 60-degree wedge. So that one is probably one of my favorite wedges.
Must have been a raffle because you can't have won it playing golf.
No, it was definitely not playing golf. It was actually it was in sales at my full-time job. So that's where I shine. Then I won. No, I didn't win. I have a TaylorMade 56-degree wedge as well as it's trying to do something there. 56-degree wedge and a 52-degree wedge, the mill grind ones. So in terms of my golf game, it's pretty shit. I'm like probably like a 20 handicap plus 20. But I'm there for a good time, not a long time. I like to have fun on the course, play music. We're in carts, so have a couple of beverages. Enjoy the outdoors while we can. Like I said, it's a short season, so getting out there for 4 or 5 hours is pretty nice. Playing with me, sometimes 6, but we'll see this year.
So you get music in your carts, do you? Like, what would you be playing if you're hooked up to the cart when you're going around?
You just got to bring it.
Sure, nice. Yeah, what goes on that?
A little bit of everything. I think I start every single round with Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I think it's by Tears for Fears.
Yeah. That's a rogue choice.
That's my tee off song. I love it. That's my first hole. It gets me in the zone. But then we got usually a mashup. Usually depends who I'm playing with. It could be rap, hip hop, which I know some of the older golfers at my old course last year didn't really appreciate. But then it could be more kind of chill stuff. It really depends where my head's at on the course, right? I think by the turn, it might be more of a party, depending. Well, I mean, if you're playing poorly, you got to get a couple beverages. If you're playing well, you got to get a couple beverages. So either way, I'm probably having a good time by the 9th. It just depends on what happens on that 10th hole that takes me a turn for the worse or a turn for the best.
I think we did golf all wrong in England myself. Like, you couldn't imagine turning up to a golf course, right, with a speaker in your buggy, and then like the tee time behind you are like 4 like 70-year-old retired guys. Like, it's just not happening, is it? They wouldn't have it, I don't think. I don't know. Shout us out if they allow music on your golf course. Not that I've ever tried. I don't know if it's banned at mine, but
yeah, sometimes
doing it.
If you're on a society day and you've got a block of 5 or 6 tee times, if you're in the middle, you can kind of get away with it because you're not going to piss off people in front or the people behind because you're the same group. But yeah, typically you wouldn't be able to, I would say.
I will say there is a certain like unspoken respect. You know, if you're near somebody that's about to take their shot that's not in your group or even in your group, you hit pause or you turn it down. But
yeah.
I would say it's pretty common to have music on you, even if you're using a trolley or you're in a power cart. Now, some of the nicer courses, like I've been down to Florida to play, they'll have like a GPS in the power cart as well as so you can see the distances for your shots, but also you can play the radio or you can connect the Bluetooth with your phone and play music. The States is where it's at, man. That's where they really know how to have a good time and do the least amount of exercise for sure.
Definitely.
I think something else to kind of go into then is if we're kind of talking about these differences between the England and Canada there, halfway houses and the food that you can get. I've been on a couple of rounds with these boys, and DB, I'll let you go into what's really important for you in your halftime snack.
Well, look, first of all, if I'm playing, my general rule of thumb is before I go out, I'll have a bottle of water, a bottle of Lucasade, and a Mars bar, and or maybe a flapjack. Right, that's in the bag without fail. Right. So after 9, I'll usually have either Mars bar or flapjack, depends what sort of mood I'm in. But if there's a halfway house, then like a real one, not like these like not scabby little shops, probably not the right word to use, but like, you know, if it's just a shop that sells like crisps or Mars bars or chocolate bars or whatever, I'm really interested in that because I've stocked up pre-round. But like, if there's like a sausage roll in England, like that would go worldy. I played at Prince's down in Kent, which is the one next door to St. George's. Their sausage rolls, top notch. Shout out Prince's. If you ever go there, make sure you get one. They were really good. Really enjoyed it. As I touched on a minute ago, was in Las Vegas the other day. Different ball game. Unbelievable. So first and foremost, right, we're playing around, and I played with 2 mates from England, and something we booked on, and we didn't realize, but there was this other guy here. I'm going to shout him out, but because I'm sure he probably doesn't listen to this podcast, but he was a 70-year-old retired attorney called Don. Right now, there was literally a rule on the golf course that you were only allowed 2 buggies per tee time. But because we didn't know he was there, I got my own buggy. The 2 lads had a buggy. And then Don has met us on the tee with a 3rd buggy. So we're cruising around, just the 4 of us with 3 buggies, right? So we're having fun.
That's it.
Now, in England, when you start to hold up the group behind, starts to become stressful golf. Am I right, AB? That's like, you don't really like that.
No.
AB, you've seen him pick up his golf ball and kick it down the fairway. I've seen him do all sorts, right? You don't like it. So once we're in Vegas, and this woman drives around with this, honestly, it was like a bus. I didn't quite know what it was. It was on the middle of the golf course. And this girl got out, or lady, woman. She goes, "Hey guys, can I get you some drinks?" And I'm just like, sure, like, what have you got? So literally, she's got a full cocktail bar on the back, ice buckets, bottles of all sorts, mixers, everything. She had snack jars. She had like chocolate bars, crisps, all sorts. So I'm there like, oh, bloody hell, like, get my drink. I'm getting a little bit flustered. I see the other guys in the fairway. So I run onto the green. I take my putt. I gave myself the gimme.
Of course.
And I ran back. I'm trying to pay. And she's just like, mate, what's the rush? Like, you look stressed. And I'm just like, well, number one, golf with me is a stressful experience, right? Or for me, rather, is a stressful experience. Number two,
with you as well.
Yeah. Number two, these other guys are in the fairway. Like, they're going to be like right up our arse in a minute. Like, we need to get a move on. She's just like, relax. You're on a golf course. We'll get them some drinks as well. Like, this is fun. Like, you get relaxed. And then all of a sudden, I get a few slurps of my vodka down me. I'm thinking, fucking, I fucking get used to this. And then she catches us up 5 holes later. We get some more. Get to the halfway house. And like, I'm thinking, wonder what we can get here. They're selling literally like cigars, hot dogs. They got slushy machines. It's like a whole hut. There's groups of people parked up at the hut, just chilling. And they're just like, oh, do you want to go next? You guys tee off instead. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? They were just waiting for us to go. They're like, oh, if you want to go, you go. I'm eating my hot dog. I'm like, what? In England, they'd be like, mate, go, get out there. You're holding me up, go. They're like, there's people at our club that if they take I won't name names, I don't know who listens, but let's just say they're in the first 3 tee times every week. And if they take longer than like 3.5 hours to go around, they're losing their fucking marbles, mate. They go out, they're gone. And like when there's people up behind you, they're all like, come on, like hurry up. There's like a thing in England where like, I don't know, it's a bit see-ball, hit-ball. We don't take it in and enjoy it, you know?
So JB, I've touched a nerve there. So just give him 5. Give him 5. Yeah. For you, halfway houses, what are they like?
It's a good question. So I would say number one, like standard here. Well, I shouldn't say standard, but most decent golf courses are going to have, and that's called a cart girl. That girl that drives around in the buggy with the mixers and the cocktails, that's a cart girl. So it's pretty, I want to say standard here. Any decent golf course, especially if the weather's nice, I mean, they're going to capitalize on people that want to have drinks. So they're going to have that girl going reverse through 18 holes, so from 18 to 1, over and over and over again. And I think to Dan's point, most groups are going to ask her to stop. So you asking her to stop is not going to hold up the next group because they're going to ask her to stop right after. He's shaking his head.
No, but I couldn't believe it. No, but I was like,
you have to get used to that sort of thing.
But we don't. Yeah. It's just we just don't have it. Like, so it's like I say, like if you're looking for a ball, like I've literally been trying to play golf, and people behind me are shouting, "Hurry up!" Like it's not like I'm stopping for a fucking cocktail and a packet of crisps, and I've got people in the fairway. And I'm thinking, oh my God, like I need to hurry up. And then she's just like, nah, relax.
I feel like I think there's probably 2 schools of thought here. Like I'm definitely in the more progressive, we'll call it, with the cart girl. Take your time. Everybody's entitled to their own 18, their own adventure. But there are for sure some more traditionalists that sounds like they're more similar to how you play golf in the UK. But, you know, you can sometimes have a halfway house, which is out on the course. So at the turn, there's a halfway house there. Some courses, the 9th hole will just take you back to the clubhouse, the pro shop. So that's where the halfway house or just like the restaurant will be, which is where typically, you know, I'm grabbing some type of drink. I don't know if you guys have transfusions over there, triple bogey transfusion. Those are big over here.
What is that?
Try those.
What is that?
It's like some type of cooler, but it is rejuvenating, especially on a hot day.
So
maybe I'll mail some out to you.
I think when he says a cooler, you mean like alcohol.
A what?
Like a WKD type thing, like a Bacardi Breezer vibe.
Yes, a cooler. Yeah. So like we have seltzers, and we call them seltzers, which is like the vodka-based drinks, and then we have coolers, which are more. They could be like vodka, they could be rum, they could be. It's basically a mixed drink, but it's all sugar, which is something. It's like your Lucozade with a pint of vodka in it. But the one is called Transfusion, which became popular. I don't know how long ago. I don't even know if I can mention their name on here, but that is unreal at the turn. So I usually, and the other thing we'll typically get, I think both of you did this when you were here, but a hot dog or a sausage or call them a glizzy. Yeah. You got to get a glizzy at the turn. A glizzy at the turn. So that's pretty popular. And some courses will have sandwiches as well. So you get like a BLT You get like a turkey Swiss, ham and cheese. There's different options. I mean, if a course doesn't have that, I'm pretty pissed at the turn, but there's some different things that you can get.
It's so funny because when we played at like real nice courses like the Mia AB up in Manchester, they're dishing out like cup of soups, and you guys are like, and that's like a fucking nice course, and you guys are getting all sorts at like just like normal courses.
Yeah,
mate. At the Mere, I was on the next tee whilst I was waiting for this dickhead to get a fucking soup.
I needed something. It was cold and it was raining.
Absolutely pissing down with rain. It was freezing cold. Like I was I was not doing very well. And this clown's gone in, walked half a mile to go to the shop to buy a soup.
So it was really funny. Just on that one, this is vintage DB. So we were on I don't know what it was, like a society/celebrity/charity day, golf day. And for the round of 18, you got one mulligan. You could use it whenever you want. So even if you're in a bunker or whatever, you could use it. So after I've come back from my cup of soup, I literally burnt my tongue on the tee trying to drink my soup. I put it down, pissing down with rain. It's a par 3. I'm not very good at them anyway. I can't really hit an iron unless I've got a driver, a hybrid, or a freewood. I'm not really interested, to be honest with you. But I've whacked it and I've literally shanked it straight in the hedge on my left. So I thought, fucking hell, mulligan. So teed it up again, boom, put it to about 4 foot. And then I marched all the way down there with my cup of soup. And I missed the putt for 2, but got it in. I think I actually, it was a 3 for 3 points, I think, in the end, which we will take. So praise the Lord for mulligans. Thanks for the cup of soup, the Mere. Shout out. I think it was tomato with a bit of black pepper in it.
3 points and burnt taste buds.
The
sacrifices we make, DB.
It's what you got to do, mate. It's what you got to do.
But sorry, AB. I was just gonna say, I think there's I don't speak for everybody when it comes to North America. Like there are definitely people. I would say etiquette-wise, if you are being slow, it is proper etiquette to let somebody play through. I don't know if that's like unheard of over there. Yeah. Okay. So like at the turn, if you're going to go and get a bunch of food and you're going to get some drinks, I would probably tell the group behind me, like, we're going to do that. If you'd like to play through, go ahead. Just out of courtesy. But I think everybody's, for the most part, more or less pretty chill about it. But I could be wrong there. So I don't speak for everybody on this side of the pond.
I think you were probably about right. And I think it just highlights the amount of people in England that are just not chill. Like, we are always in a rush to do everything. And do you know what? I'm the same. I'm guilty of it. If I'm stood on the tee and there's people fucking around in the fairway, I'm stood there going, what the fuck are these guys doing? Like, get out the way.
Nah, we're the same. I'm the same as that. But, it depends who you're playing with as well. Like, are you guys having a good time together and not really noticing? I mean, if it's abhorrent and you're just like waiting every single hole, then it's like, come the fuck on, right?
Yeah.
AB, you were going to jump in. What were you going to say?
No, I was basically just going to jump in, JB, and ask a question. Cart server, right? They're coming round. You've just finished a hole. You've done well. You want to have a little drink, bit of food. Who would you prefer to be serving you out of AB and DB?
Neither. I feel like AB would be quick with it. He would get down straight to business. DB would probably talk to me for a good long while, as he does. So I guess it depends what kind of round I'm having. If I don't want to talk to him, then probably AB. If I'm having a great round and I want to have a little bit of a chat, then probably DB.
Look, all I'll say is I worked in the biggest nightclub Cornwall's ever fucking seen for like 3 years, and I was a mustard barman. I got promoted from a glass collector to a barman, and I knew my way around a few drinks, JB. So if I'm serving drinks up, you're going to have a good time if DB's pouring them,
I did make a visit there one time.
You actually did. I recall that. Shout out L2.
All right. Okay. Nice. Right. Bringing it back to the golf. Obviously, Masters on at the moment. Last week or the week before, we did a nice Masters pod, JB. And the lads gave their menus, both very Cornish. Would be keen to hear yours. So if we could kick off with what your starter would be for your Masters menu, and then we'll go from there.
So Mine's definitely not going to be Cornish. I'll tell you that.
You do love a pasty, though. We will get that one out there.
I do love a pasty. I do love a sausage roll. But I'd probably be bringing a lot more flavor to Augusta. Probably they haven't seen it since Vijay Singh won. But, I feel like mine would definitely, there's a little bit of strategy to this. So number one, it's foods that I like, and I'm a bit of a foodie. And number two, maybe we want to upset the tummies of, the rest of the field for the next day. So maybe put myself in higher standing. So I think I would start with my starter. I don't know if you guys know what pakoras are, but
oh yeah, baby. So Indian restaurants are massive over here, mate.
Yeah, hold on. So what we think of pakora is very tailor-made to the English market. So why don't you tell us the official?
So the nice thing is where we grew up in Ontario, in the Greater Toronto area. We grew up in Markham. It's super diverse. So you have people from all over the world there, as you can see. But that gives us a lot of diversity or variety of different foods. So one type of fusion food here that's very popular is Indian Chinese, which is called Hakka food. So a shrimp pakora is part of a Hakka menu. So that would be my starter. It's got a little bit of spice to it. Shrimp pakora.
Yeah, we wouldn't get that here, would we?
Well, I guess you got to come back.
Yeah. So what is it? Like just a load of like shrimp in batter or something, or what?
More or less, yeah. But it's got a little bit more of a kick to it, and you typically have it with like a chutney, like a green chutney, that you would dip it in. So that would be my starter. Shrimp pakora.
Yeah, I respect it.
That'd be my appetizer. My starter, I guess we'll call it, is a soup, mulligatawny soup. I'll get you guys to Google that one.
That's you're gonna have to tell us what it is first.
Indian style soup. It's vegetables. To be honest, I don't even know what's in it, but I just really like it. Shout out my mom. She makes the best food. Mulligatawny soup is something we grew up with. The main course would be roti. So we're looking at either chicken curry or goat curry roti with a side of coleslaw. More like Caribbean style, yeah. They do down in the islands. And then for dessert, I'm going to round it off with deep fried banana, as well as a little bit of vanilla ice cream, just to chef's kiss the rest of it. And hopefully there'd be enough spice to take guys like, Bryson DeChambeau, Max Homa off their game for the next day, and maybe
he wouldn't be fucking eating it, mate, because they haven't won it. But I respect.
That's true. That's
someone
true.
Like a John Rahm probably can't handle this spice. Scotty Scheffler probably definitely can't. He's an American guy, isn't he? He eats barbecues, mate. He's not having hot sauce on his burgers.
Spieth's not eating that either.
No, I agree. I agree.
So I think I got a little bit of an upper hand there with the strategy.
No, I respect
and drinks.
That's a solid choice.
Yeah.
Drinks? I didn't think about drinks, actually. So I think if we're going alcoholic beverage, it's Augusta. So I think it's about, you guys do Celsius, not Fahrenheit, correct?
Yeah.
Is that the same? Yeah. So I think it's like 28 degrees Celsius there right now. So it's pretty hot. Probably do something like some type of mule with ginger beer, maybe like a Moscow Mule or a Dark and Stormy. And then for non-alcoholic, for some others, I mean, we are playing in a big major tournament the next day. Maybe just like a Virgin Shirley Temple or something, because I love those.
Classic.
What's in the shake?
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with that little cherry.
Oh, one of those, yeah.
Nice. Right, we've rambled on for quite some time. However, before we kind of wrap things up, I'm told that you've got a new range coming out, a women's line. And didn't know if you want to just talk about that for a little bit, Justin.
Yeah. So thanks for bringing that up, Clarky. This year we've launched our women's cutoff sleeve polo. We've got 7 different patterns, some matching the men's, some are just native to the women's line. Super excited about that. We've also launched, I'm also just going to shamelessly plug this, magnetic towels. So gone are the days of bending over to pick up your towel. Just use that iron head. You can pick it up and you can get it back on your get it right back on that clip on your bag. So those are a
Nice.
couple new products that we've launched this year, along with I think about 10 different patterns for men's shirts, and we brought back our nylon braided belts too.
Nice.
I guess maybe I'll shamelessly plug. You can find us on Instagram.
Go for it.
At shop out of bounds. Shopob.ca is the website. Feel free to check us out. Would love for you guys to see what we have cooking. Interested in any feedback, but also, I mean, we've done a few orders shipped to the UK, so it is possible. We have done it, but I don't want to start encroaching on my cousin's territory. So
Yeah.
No, yeah, we will. I'll tell you what, we'll have to do another podcast on how we got started, because to be honest with you, I could talk about it for about an hour. So, and we won't bore you with it now. But we got a bit carried away talking about golf, as you do.
Yeah.
I think that obviously just shows us as a family in general. Very tight, we're very similar. We all like the same vibes. So you can imagine what it's like on a round of golf with the three of us, which has never been done. So stay tuned, because we will do it at some point and we will film it. I will win and they will be annoyed and we will show you all how it all went down. But yeah, I think we'll round it off there, boys, and we'll do a follow-up podcast maybe in the next week or so, talking about how Barreto Golf got started, why we did it, what's important to us. And yeah, similarly, if you don't want to hear any of that, let us know.
Yeah.
Comments.
Right. Beautiful.
I'll be listening. Thanks, gents.
Right, JB, welcome anytime, boy. Thanks for coming.
Yes. Over and out. All
Cheers.
the best.
Cheers, JB.
Cheers, guys.
Sound technician gets pay rise.
Love it. The timing. It's getting better, AB. It's on. It's good.